Hi there, welcome back to Mr. Meal's Music. I'm Anthony Meal. It's time to learn how to play the game Kingsland. But before we do, make sure that you subscribe and hit the notify bell thingy to make sure that you are up to date when anytime I upload a video. If you're not familiar with the song, be sure to check out the video that I created that's lyrics and accompaniment so you are familiar with the song, and then once you know it, come back to this game. Okay, now that your kids know how to sing Kingsland, you're going to divide your classroom up into 3 sections. So I usually just will tape on the ground, or you can put string or whatever you need to make 3 sections. So one side of the room is going to be Boston, the middle part is going to be the Kingsland, and the outside are going to be like the kids, their houses. So to start, you're going to have the king stand on the outside, and their back is going to be facing the middle of the room, like this. And with their back facing their friends, the rest of the friends get to go onto the king's land, so that's in between the 2 lines, and they're going to sing the song and dance and play all through the king's land while the king is away. Then I tell the kids the problem is they don't know when the king is going to be coming back, so they're going to be surprised. The king can be waiting in Boston, and the kids might sing the song 2 or 3 times before the king turns their head, and when the king turns their head to start chasing, that gives all the students in the middle that were on the king's land permission to either jump across the ocean to Boston or jump over to their houses over there. Now, if the king has not turned their head to turn their body, and a student jumps over to Boston or jumps over to their house, they're out. So they have to make sure they wait until the king actually turns their head. If a king is able to tag a student, they become one of the king's soldiers. And then it gets a little more interesting. The round would happen again, and the king would have their back to the king's land, but also their soldier would be next to them along that line. Now the problem is, the king and the soldier aren't going to know exactly when to go, especially if there's a king and 10 soldiers. So what I would do as a teacher, I would be facing the king. So I'd be the teacher here, the king and soldiers would be all along the line, and behind them would be the kids on the king's land. And I'd have a secret signal that so the soldiers and the king would huddle with me, and we'd go, okay. And a signal could be anytime I snap my fingers, that's your signal to go. Or anytime I tap my head, or anytime I stomp my feet, then that's when you're going to go. So after the huddle is all done and all the soldiers and the king know when to go, then the round starts again. And to make it a little more fun, I actually throw in fake signals. So if the real signal is if I clap my hands, they go, I might start going like this. I might even shout the word go, because that might trick some of the kids that are in the king's land to hop out. So the real signal would have been clapping the hands, and the king and the soldiers would try to catch the students. The rounds will continue and continue until there's only a couple students left. Throughout this, if there are arguments with who got tagged and who didn't, the easy way I solve it is they sit out and they solve their argument while the next round is going on. This usually settles things really, really quickly because kids don't want to miss out on the next round. So if 2 kiddos are going, no, you didn't get me. Oh, I was crossing over the line. I wasn't. Yeah, you were. I'd say, okay, go over there. You guys figure it out. The round is starting. You guys come back in when you have it figured out. That'll force your kids to be a little more honest about what is actually going on, and they'll get back in the game really quickly. Now, sometimes you might have kids that want to be a soldier. Now, if they're purposely just standing right by the king and just waiting to be tagged, then they actually just sit out from the game. I tell them that they have to earn being soldiers. So you actually have to be trying to escape the king. And if you're just standing there trying to get tagged, then you just sit out. An easy adaptation for this game, if you have the student leader and they want to be the queen, then we would sing, I'm on the queen's land, the queen is not at home, she went to Boston. And then your class can decide who the queen went to Boston for, or the queen can decide. The queen could go to buy her dog a comb, or to buy the king a comb, or to buy, I don't know, whoever they want to. So that whoever is the royal person, the queen or the king, they can decide who they're buying the comb for. So it doesn't always have to be just the king that's gone to Boston. And that does it for Kingsland. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. As always, please like and subscribe and share and all that jazz, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.